Hey, so welcome back to the In Layman Terms podcast, where we break real estate down to simple terms. You know, all facts, no fluff. I got a really good guest today. This is Brandon Schwamm. You would never look at him and say, wow, what a great investor, but he is. And that's why you don't think that way, because he slides by under the radar. And you've been coached by a bunch of crazy, like, big names, Alex Hormozi and fun, like, names like that. You're in great high-level masterminds.
Yep.
You are a large nationwide wholesaler.
Mm-hmm.
I Buy Florida is one of the company names.
Right.
Don't you have I Buy Texas too?
No, I didn't end up getting that one. I have propertysold.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so, but is that your bread and butter, wholesaling?
Kind of. I mean, I would say that's like one of our main strategies. You know, it just really depends on the deal, like what comes in the pipeline and whether or not I take it down or
JV with people?
Yeah, JV with people. I mean, obviously I've done a bunch of JVs with you, so just
and that's
depends.
how we, that's one of the things question I want to ask about, because it was funny how one of your dispo agents posted something, I responded to it, and then I kind of beat him up a little bit, nicely though, right?
Yeah. Well, you still bought it. Well, you bought it with me
We
at
bought
my
it with
price.
you. But I remember this correctly. He talked to me, and I'm like, no, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Now, you and I have already talked about you were going to buy from us.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we've done this a bunch. And now when I realized it was, I'm like, no, hold on a second. And then he said to you on your end of the day call, this mobile home dealer beat me up here in Orlando. And you're like, is his name Tom? And then you texted me. We talked on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's like, stop being mean to my guy.
That's what you said. I just gave him the truth.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be correct.
Right.
Because the size unit we couldn't end up putting down because of the lot.
Even worse than we thought. Right?
It was the worst we thought number.
Yeah.
We didn't do bad,
No.
but it should have been double if the lot was a little, just how the turns were.
Yeah.
And with that county, like, it's their rules. You can't,
Right.
But we sold it once we put it on the market, right, quick.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and so you do wear a few hats. You're an investor. You're a developer.
Mm-hmm.
You own part of a title company.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think gives you the biggest edge today?
Oh, investor for sure. Because I mean, the deals that I get access to, I mean,
That's what makes our partnership profitable.
Right. Yeah. It's just like it allows me to do the deals and just like I do JVs with you, and then I do JVs with a developer. Like obviously if land makes sense for a new build, then I do that. If it makes sense for a mobile home, I do that. Or if it just makes sense to fix it up and flip, or wholesale, or hotel, or keep it, or whatever. It just depends.
And all that takes time.
Right.
And you've also, as you've grown, you've learned that you stay in your lane, and that's why we JV. And I do it as well now. I'm good at this, not this.
Right.
So what I've found as I've gotten older or bigger in this business is that it becomes, when you're out of the rat race out here and you're scaling, it becomes way more collaborative.
Right.
Because we don't have to compete. We do different things, but why don't we work together? We come together, we JV, and we move on.
Right.
And we do better that way. Agreed?
For sure. I mean, I remember when I first brought you a deal, the 3 lots in Winter Haven. Initially, my plan with you was like pay you your fee.
Very reasonable fee.
Yeah, pay your fee, and then have you just kind of teach me and show me the ropes while I manage everything. And then I slowly realized I don't want anything to do with that. It's way out of my wheelhouse. I'd rather just split the deal or whatever and get done that way.
Well, it's a time budget too.
Yeah.
With all the stuff you're doing, and you don't even live in Florida, first of all, so how are you going to manage it?
Right.
But it's learning a new dance step too, completely different, right?
100%.
And it's worked out really well, and we do a bunch of them, and we're going to keep growing our partnership with you.
For
so
sure.
it's really a good deal for all of us. But you and I are both big on due diligence.
For sure.
Right? It saves money. What is your mental process for that on your deals, but also on other items? And, what red flags do you have?
I mean, with due diligence, it kind of depends. Like, I'm not a stickler on it as long, whatever price I have it at, right? Like, if it's something that's, it's kind of, it's not the best deal, then I obviously.
Well, we've walked away together. Like we were at that one in Orlando. It's like, hey, we need here, and they were a pain to deal with anyway. Right. But look at the last one in DeLand now, where it was we're going to close in 2 weeks, whatever it is.
But that's where, like, obviously that's your wheelhouse. I mean, I really lean on you and your expertise because I know you guys' team to like really handle that because I don't. I don't know that field as well. Like I know marketing, I know how to get deals and
Right.
get prices that make sense. But for the managing everything else and like what makes sense number wise, I just really lean on you guys and trust what you guys say.
I appreciate
know?
that. We go out, they go out and look,
Right.
and I looked it over with them. It's like, where's this other building? Like, we keep getting land deals, like, and they work because there's units there, but they always
Right.
have extra buildings that
So weird.
aren't allowed, right?
I mean, a 2-story, whatever. I'm like, I've never even seen that before. I don't,
When he told me that, so I'm looking at the property appraiser's map, and I see a 2-story house behind this unit. And I'm like, dude, you're talking about the house behind it. It's
Right.
new construction. He's like, no, this has AC in the windows. And I'm like, what? So then I go to the aerial for Google Maps, and I see it because it's current, and it wasn't on the aerial. Whatever was in property appraiser didn't show it because of trees.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
And it was like, holy crap, every time we get a property, Brandon, there's like, why do they keep building things? Because we have to take that, it's going to cost more to knock it down.
Right.
The number was good, because you don't always need to go back, but hey, it's going to cost 10 grand more to do this stuff.
Right.
And it's in a county that the permit's $1,000 just for the permit, or 800 and whatever
Right.
dollars. It's a separate one, but that structure doesn't exist on their records.
Right.
But when we go to file for the permit, they're going to look at the aerials and see something's there. And we've learned this the hard way. We have to do it their way. Because if we knock that down, there's 3 months added to our permit timelines now.
Yeah. No, makes sense.
That's
And
how I know that one.
yeah, I'm sure you've been through a lot of those. But yeah, I mean, it's just, in this market, you can't be super aggressive, with how the Florida market is and all that kind of stuff.
Is there a market you can be super aggressive in?
Well,
right now?
if this was 20, well,
No,
in
but I mean in
nationwide,
today's.
oh, I don't know. I mean, the Northeast doesn't seem to be doing too bad, but I mean, we don't really mess with stuff up there.
Price points are crazy, though.
Right. Right.
And then you have, like, you got attorney states and just the taxes. And look, I've left that for a reason. You can't get me back up there.
Right. No. So, obviously Florida and Texas, the 2 main markets we're in, are doing the worst, nationwide.
Comparatively speaking, though, right? I think if you're a seasoned investor in all this, there's going to be opportunity one way or the other.
For sure.
And you just have to you just got to look at it, like, let me turn this way. Oh, I'll look at it, right? Because one of the options we're doing is looking at Texas. I know guys who do a lot of work there, right?
Yeah.
It'll be another way to joint venture, especially after I came from the MHI. And what I can do here is good. What I can do there is great.
Really?
Yeah. Like you put me in that environment last week with the people and the lenders for this. And I'm going to ask some good, like I had meetings for days, and it was because I know the questions, and then when they give me answers, I knew what more to follow up with.
Right.
And that's probably one of the markets we're going to hit next.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I know people there who can get cheap land, right?
Right.
And they actually have, ready for this, a 36 wide unit out there. I can't buy it here in Florida. It's illegal to transport on the roads, but Texas is a little bit bigger and lenient,
Wow.
And the land, and I sat with a guy who does land development out there, and he's like, yeah, it's different than Florida. You just do this.
Yeah.
He's like, you buy a bunch of it, and then you build it backwards, and he just gave me a map of it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's way different than Florida. Because once you get outside of cities, the zoning is like, what do you want to build? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to build spaceships? Fantastic. Just pay a fee, right?
Well, I'm selling a piece of land out by not too far from Austin, and all the guy's doing is putting a mobile home on it, and we sold the land for $200,000, and it's just like a little half acre, and I think the total loan amount that he got for the mobile and the land was like almost $500,000 for a mobile home that's like 1,800 square feet.
I wish I could sell it to him.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to be in Texas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm just like, wow, that's a expensive mobile home.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So let's talk manufactured homes. And so what has been your biggest surprise, like stepping into this? Because we're in business in some ways together.
Right.
And they were your first couple of deals. And when we talked about putting them on your original properties, like what's been your biggest takeaway from it?
Yeah, it's tough to say because you have such a well-oiled machine that
It looks that way.
It's to me it just looks easy.
Just like yours does for me.
Yeah, just like I just bring you the land, and then close on the land, and then you guys kind of handle everything from there. So it's just like it seems super simple, but obviously once I got into it and learning about the septics and setbacks and then the B map and just all that stuff, I'm like, oh my god, like if you make one mistake, I mean, it could cost you the whole deal.
That's why
So,
we
I
get
mean,
paid to do this for people, right?
Right, yeah.
They're not paying me for like the. I mean, they are paying for time, but they're paying
Right.
for that experience.
Right, and that's why, like, when I started trying to do it on my own while having you help me, I'm like, it's just cheaper for me to just have you do it and not make not make the
Also,
mistakes.
because you realize how much your time is really worth, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
well,
then-
it's mistakes. If you make a mistake,
You're
I'm
not
trying to save whatever 20, 30 grand, but it's like it actually might cost me more, and it's not worth it.
And then I put you with a really good realtor too.
Right? Yeah, she's been great.
You know, that people came to my investor meetup Saturday, and they're like, "Can we use your realtors?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead," because I told them you're a stink.
Yeah.
I looked at what they do. They don't do anything. Like mine do videos. Mine went on radio. They're like, you want to come? I said, I don't really need to come. You guys go, right?
Yeah.
They're getting deals from the Spanish radio ads, okay? If your realtor's not doing that in this market, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not 2020 to 2022.
I sold my own stuff then. I didn't need
Yeah.
a realtor, but I was teaching. I was learning, right?
Right.
And then I know what the value that they bring because she is one of them, the main one, Jen, who is the administrative agent for a very large brokerage, 170 agents. They're always doing open houses. They bring me deals. They bring us buyers.
Right.
I was on Facebook Marketplace looking for land one day, just strolling through it. I'm at the beach. It was Christmas time, and I see one of my homes, but I don't understand Creole.
Oh wow.
But they were marketing my home on Facebook Marketplace, the other realtor.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything because when I looked down, I saw their brokerage information. I'm like, oh, that's amazing because,
Smart.
you know?
Yeah.
And so we track it. I'm sure you know how you track your KPIs. We
Right.
track all this stuff with them. And I always look at it as, I don't look at the numbers too much. I look at what the end of the results are for the month. But I also look at when I'm on, when I do go on social media, how many times do I see my properties on other people's feeds that I don't really know, but they
Right.
work for them, right? They're probably
Right.
like friends or they're followers, okay?
Right.
And so I get a box checked that way. It's like, oh, I don't need to look. Now, if I didn't see it, I would go look at my numbers, right?
Right.
And so that's been learning to just let go of things, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Are you able to in your business to just trust everybody you have to a certain degree?
Yeah, I would say for the most part,
I do vacation a lot.
Right. Right. Well, it's not really. I don't know. I call it vacation. I travel.
You travel a lot.
Right. So like, I still tend to work like wherever I'm from.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm not working 8-10 hours a day like I do when I'm back home, but on vacation, I probably still work 3-4 hours a day just to like do something.
But your team handles it for you, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the most important part of a business is the people.
Yeah, because when you want to take that jump, scaling up, okay?
Right.
It's taken me really the better part of 2 years. I brought in consultants.
Right.
I work well in chaos, my own. My team somehow doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you need structure. What do you mean you don't? Your resume says you can do everything. You said right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they can't do it this way.
Right.
And that's a learning curve that was hard.
Yeah.
And I hired wrong. I made a mistake. I don't do any of the hiring anymore because I don't have any direct reports.
Right.
So if they hire them, I'll overlook it.
Yeah.
But you're good. It's your responsibility, not mine. I put it all off on them.
Right.
It's my money, and I'm going to hold them accountable for the problem.
For sure.
But that's been the game changer. Who I hire, and I hire better.
Nice. Yeah. That makes sense.
Like you've spoken to Jeannie before, and then now you have Jasmine, who is. I joke about it with her because the night before we went on our first, we were one of the final interviews was her. I'm driving around projects with her, but it was January. It was going to be 47 and rainy, and I'm not a 47 and rainy guy.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, and I said, hey, and I asked her to switch it, and she said, I'm not going to melt, are you? And I'm like, yeah, I am. But I'm like, oh, and I always joke with her that she called me the B word before I even hired her, right? And but she been a game changer because she has taken operations off my hand, because that's my baby that funds everything else, right?
Right.
And I don't worry about it anymore.
Right.
All I have to do is teach her real estate. I can do that.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be allowed to touch management.
Right.
I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Like I think they manage me better than I do anybody else.
Well, it's good to have that self-awareness of what you're good at and what you're not good at, and outsource what you're not good at.
Absolutely. Who taught you that?
I've
Everybody
read
along the
some
way?
books, yeah. Some people
Well,
that
you
are way
pay a
bigger
lot for education, though.
Right. Yeah.
Who are you paying right now?
Right now.
'Cause I have a friend who's on a Zoom with you once in a week, and they show me the picture.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I'm in this. It was nothing crazy. It's like 30 grand for 4 months, and
That's
it's
kind of crazy to people, though.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
for, I understand, but
yeah,
to most people it is.
right. But I mean, yeah, it's just basically dealing with like how to specialize in dirty titles and stuff like that.
But
Like
you own
the
part
real.
of a title company. Isn't that their job?
Right, but there's just some stuff. I mean, you're only make the title company's only making $2,000 a file, $3,000 a file in most cases. So it's not really like if we're making 80, 100 grand a file, our motivation's a lot higher than theirs.
Well, but that's the difference between the title company and the investor.
Right, right. So, but I mean, there's just some stuff. I mean, a lot of our business is like tracking down the right heirs.
Well, you're really,
You know?
I can say one thing is that you have a really different model than a lot of people.
Right.
Because you buy shares in houses and,
Right.
and now, I'm sure people don't like that, but it's the business, unfortunately.
Right.
But I saw the value of that with you.
Yeah.
And you're really good at that. And somebody else was telling me, I think I'm going to do this. Do you think it's worth it? I'm like, I know somebody who does it and crushes it at it. And so, yeah, but I'm sure it's another learning curve.
Oh, and yeah, you can make a mistake really easily and it could be expensive. And it is, I mean, I've been in real estate for, since I was 22 years old. So I've been in it for over 10 years. And all I've done is investment side. And there's still stuff every day that I'm going through on this type of business that are just like, what the heck? Like, I don't even know what to do there. I have to call attorneys, get questions answered. But yeah, I mean, we're dealing with like the messiest of messy deal. Like right now, I'm digging up a dead body for a deal.
Nice.
And that's one of
Personally?
Not me personally.
Just one hat.
But it's actually, I mean, I'll share you the story. It's probably the craziest deal I have in real estate right now. Where
Sure, definitely got to hear it. It's like picking up a dead body, right? Come on, let's go.
So long story short, we have a researcher on our team that all they do is research files and situations that are going on in the county level. So we've got a property over in Pinellas County where essentially the daughter passed away a couple years ago. The father filed probate in like 2022. Essentially, the judge denied the probate because the father never signed the birth certificate. And so then the cousins on the maternal side then became co-petitioner and started trying to get the property. And so we ended up getting a hold of the father, being like, hey, just want to, the whole typical, do you want to sell the property, or doing research, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I lost the house. Like, the cousin stole it from me. And so my team brought me in because they're like, hey, he's saying he lost it. Can you confirm? And so now I'm doing my research on the county records, and I'm like, no, he's still, like, the order to determine homestead hasn't been filed, thus it's not in their name yet, but there's actually a hearing on Tuesday. So, like, we need to do something soon, because if there's going to be a hearing, I need to send my attorney to go to the hearing and, try to get it extended. So long story short, we ended up agreeing to buy a house that's worth $250,000 for 40 grand. And basically,
But do all the work.
Right. So like essentially what I'm doing is I have to risk 18 grand from exhuming the body, and if he's not the father, from the DNA test, because they exhume the body, take part of the hip.
So now we're on Maury Povich here.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna ship it away. They're gonna do the DNA. If he's the father, then he is the sole heir, and I will get the property when the probate's complete. If he's not the father, then I lose 18 grand.
That's a nice little, like, I'm not a gambler anymore, but that's a gamble I would
risk 18 to make 200 in 2 months. Probably do it.
Yeah, I'm rolling. I'm like, where's the chips going for sure?
Yeah.
But it's not a risk. It is a risk, but you've also you know the business side, the law side too,
Right.
because like you said, your team brought it to you and you did your own research.
Right.
Okay, and so you just can make that decision like that now.
Right.
And
Well, I mean, I literally talk, and there's probably 2 attorneys that I talk to almost every day. Just about.
Mine just left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like I'm constantly like learning little things from them, and.
You know what's funny? We were just talking about this. Is people feel the value's not there with their attorneys, and I'm like, you got the wrong person. You know, like I had an issue at my office because of the change, and he says, I have this covered. Just send everything to me. He owns everything, right?
Right.
That's the value of that. Every time I had legal problems, I just asked questions.
Right.
I was getting sued, but because we were in everything in a trust, they sued him instead because the trust is gone. I'm good. He's like, yeah, it's cost of doing business. Don't worry about it, right? I was like, oh, okay, great, but the value of those attorneys is worth it, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Oh, so they're going after him because he's a trustee.
they dropped it now because it was like the
What are they
dumbest
going
thing
to do?
because
Yeah.
it was a you had only found out about this easement at the very last stage of permits, right? And so it wasn't recorded in the county at all correctly. But at the very last stage, they found out that there was a FP&L easement down the middle of the property. We didn't know, okay?
And so is the mobile on?
No,
Oh,
it was we sold the land because of where the neighbor put their well. We couldn't configure the lot to be profitable for our buyer. We had a buyer who wanted it,
Right.
wanted to build this style home. We couldn't build it anymore, so we just sold it.
Right.
And we gave them everything we had, but because we terminated the trust after we sold the lot, you can't sue me. Now, somebody gave them my name. I got a call from a reporter and said, hey, we're going to do this and that. Where'd you get my name from? Well, we can't tell you that. So you don't have a legal document that has my, because they don't.
Yeah.
They're like, well, no. Oh, you mentioned my name, I'm suing you. I'm just telling you right now because I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You don't know? Well, I know who they are, but it's real estate. Everyone knows real estate around here.
Right.
But you weren't the owner, and if you're the trust beneficiary, you're never the owner. Got to use the right term, right?
Yeah.
No, not me. And it wasn't me anyway. It was another LLC. It was even down there. It's convoluted, right? So, but they couldn't sue me,
Right.
and
That worked out nice.
it did. That's the look. I believe in the networking ability of who we have around us because
Right.
I'm not that smart. I'm a hard worker. I'll figure things out, but I don't want to go learn the law. I don't want to learn tax stuff either.
Right.
I pay $3,000 a month just to make sure I'm clean.
Right.
And that's not even my tax, like who files my taxes. That's to make sure it's good for him because he'll
Right.
he will literally kill me then,
Right.
and I'm sure you're the same way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cost of doing business,
Mm-hmm.
you hire people smarter in every way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel like smarts are overrated.
I know how to work hard. I know how to stay focused. And if I had to hustle it all over again, I could, right? But I also know that there's a lot of people smarter who aren't entrepreneurs.
For sure.
There's a difference. They just want security and a paycheck.
Right.
I can give that,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'll risk the house. I'll take chances.
I don't have to do that anymore. I don't think,
Yeah.
we can risk one of the houses,
Yeah.
But we were just talking about that. Like everything is in a separate trust. Even, you could put them in one trust, but I won't do that either. People say it's too expensive. What's peace of mind worth?
Right.
Like it's like the same people who don't get insurance on projects. It's like,
Right.
what?
I mean, we talked to a seller. We were trying to buy one of these properties, and the seller's dad lost everything because he had 17 houses. A squatter in one of the houses broke in, and then ended up somehow basically beating a lady to a pulp, and then that lady sued and got all of the houses. Essentially.
So, when I was first, I joined a local RIA, and I didn't even know my attorney yet, and so there was a guy there who had to rebuild he had spent 20 years building a portfolio. It was like 68 or 69 houses. It was a good number,
Right.
And because he worked too to do this,
Right.
and he had everything in, I think it was separate LLCs, but then the management LLC, which was him, managed them all, lost them all. A couple kids died in a pool at a house.
Oh my God.
Tragedy, right? It's sad. That's why all of our rentals never have pools. Never buy a pool rental. That's why I stay away from Airbnb. Scares me. I only want to go to one with a pool, but I won't have one. But when I heard that, and then I heard that, but he also was talking about that he does everything in a land trust now.
Right.
And then I've never not used one. It's just part of the business for me.
So if your rentals are in a land trust.
See, you can't
That's
sue
right.
outside of the trust.
Right.
But if you have 10 rentals in that trust, they're all gottable.
Right, but I've struggled finding more conventional, like for rental loans that will do land trust, like will let you own it in a land trust.
Sure. Sometimes they may pull you out, and then you have to drop it back in.
Okay.
That's it,
But that doesn't put you at risk that you are out and then going in.
No, I mean, in the end, you can always change your beneficiary interest when you get back inside. But when you're out and you're in, say, your LLC, your name's on it. So your name and other LLCs that you have, they're all attached now.
Right.
You put it back in the land trust. Once that land trust, you can't sue outside of it. You sue there.
Right.
People may know you owned it in the past, but they can't. They don't know you own it now again. Okay? Because remember, it just slides into the trust. You just put it into a different trust name.
Got it.
Whenever I've taken out homes to refinance them and put them back, we change the trust.
Got it. Okay, so you'll pull it out. So like if you have to get a whatever refinance to get money out, then once you've refinanced, then you'll just deed it over to a land
Yeah,
trust.
and there's some lenders who will work with the trust.
Yeah, I just
So-
haven't found that yet.
I have one, so if you ever need it, but it's just I look at asset protection important. I never want to get sued. I've been sued before. I don't want to do it. I've been threatened to get sued, and for no reason. It's just it's just a hammer people can use,
Right.
and we work hard enough as it is. I think one of my kids accountant, one a lawyer,
Yeah.
right?
There you go.
And they take over the business and whatever.
Yeah.
They'll probably push me down the stairs. We joke. They're like, we're not paying for that nursing home, So, okay, you've only been doing this 10 years, you said, right? You're 30, what, 3?
Yep.
Damn, I'm 53. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but I've only been doing it 5.5.
Right.
So I got a little time till I get to your level. Well, you've done a lot more than me, but I just stay focused. I'm really, that's one thing I've been good at.
Right.
And do you struggle in that area ever? Like the shiny objects, the trying to do.
Oh my God, yeah. The girl in the red dress, like.
Well, you're married now, so it's a
Yeah.
shiny object, we say, right? So.
Yeah, there's been times where I wanted to be a developer and develop big, multifamily stuff, and then, now I only want.
You can just bring the land to it, right?
Yeah,
You're still a developer, right?
That's kind of where I've realized I'm good at what I'm good at.
And me too.
Trying to go do all this other stuff, it's just gonna slow me down.
Collaboration,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We have a mobile home park development in Polk County underway, right? Just under contract, we're doing it, and I know what I can bring. I don't know how to develop the infrastructure to start it. But
Right.
once we get to my level, I don't worry about it. We're good. And I can
Yeah.
bring now with our new financing ability and
Right.
get all that paid for. So
Right.
my partner has to be able to do the construction side, right? And bring money, right?
Right.
And so I was talking to somebody, they came to my event. They didn't sign up though, right? And they wanted to just see. And we talked afterwards. And he taught me something really cool in a few minutes because I asked good questions. We could have made the offer and done creative, I said, but they're not going to subordinate their mortgage to another loan that we needed for construction. He's like, oh, that's simple. We just put them in as a partner and structure it this way. And I was like, found my guy, right?
Yeah.
Because if we did it, I didn't know that. And then he broke it down in a few minutes,
Right.
Still learning every day, just because like you, it's like, remember when we were on the phone buying houses ourselves? Ask questions. Like,
Right.
it's like it's tennis. They hit, I got another one for you, because
Right.
it's just like underwriting anything. You have more questions now.
Right. Yeah. No, it's always learning new stuff. I learned the other day that you can figure out ways to avoid Medicaid liens being stuck to a house and get around that.
Don't worry
and how
about
to Get around that. And,
Well,
know.
but I learn ways every day on how to sell the house with different kind of financing, because that's been we can get anybody approved almost, but the numbers can not make sense for them. And when I was at the event, they have one of the lenders has 3% conventional loans for good credit buyers. 3%, no PMI. I'm like, no, put it in writing, and he did.
Wow.
740 and above, I can get them approved for. But we had somebody in the pipeline there.
Wow.
They only have $5,000 to put down.
Right.
I'll give them the 3% more without a problem.
Right.
So got it worked out, right? So now we're shopping for their land just to put it together.
Right.
But if I'm not there
There's gonna be
asking
no money out
questions,
of pocket essentially if you give a credit.
yeah, and then and they'll work with us. It's like a construction to perm loan,
That's sweet.
Yeah. But it's learning how to do that, right?
Right.
Because I've done all this with private lending. Now because as an investor, I was always taught banks bad, banks evil, right?
Right.
But now it's like, oh no, their interest rate is better than this, and they're going to give you a lot more once you prove to them you're good with it.
For sure. Well, and their credit lines. If you get a credit line with them, that's.
Oh yeah, there's a couple commas now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a nice thing to have.
And the fees. I was telling you about it. Remember I told you, I asked if it was a mistake because it was 20 was a fee number. I'm like, I've never seen a fee number of $20. I've seen $2,000, right? You know how it is. And they're like, no. If you move it from here to here, it's, it goes from inventory to a lot, it's $20. And I was like, $20 at 8%, man, my friend, right?
Yeah.
And, but I wouldn't have understood even how to go down that road a couple years ago.
Right.
I mean, like you, I pay for education, but consultants who told me December of 23, I was showing him my project expense sheet.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, you're showing me a false profit." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not some Utah Mormon, you know." And then he broke down why it was, with just looking at it, taught me how to do a pro forma, and said, "For you to be really successful in this, you need to become bankable."
Right.
We were bankable now,
Yeah.
and it was a pain. It was like pulling teeth, but it was worth it.
Yeah. No, I'm still working on getting bankable because, especially on the wholesale side and that kind of
That's
stuff.
different. That's
yeah.
like a, you know, that's an area where there's no foundation for it. But in your
Right.
construction side, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not my construction business; it's the dealership.
Right.
You know, and everyone said, "Oh, your construction business." That's not the vehicle of the future for me. It's the dealership.
Right.
Because once my dealership has all that financing in place, when I move it to a different state, the financing goes with it. I don't have to start
Right.
again.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. That's so to JV with us. Let's say I come to Texas, right?
Yeah.
Which definitely the thought.
Yeah.
All that financing comes with me,
Right.
and my relationship with the manufacturers there.
Right. No, it's great.
You know, and that's the option, Texas, right? I mean, it's a big state. The land's good. Mobile homes are like. There's a mobile home park on the market there for $450 grand with like 40 units.
Wow.
Wish I can get that here in Florida right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
so
old
cheap.
units, but look, my goal always is to build family parks anyway in
Right.
the end, because I don't want to be a slumlord. That's not who I want to. I'm not.
Right.
But also, I want to build a safe environment because you're going to make more money,
Right.
right? You know, if you have that kind of clientele here, you're not getting money.
Mm-hmm.
Family parks. Look, people are squeezed right now. I'm sure you see that,
Oh yeah.
and that's a big. First of all, Wall Street's buying the heck out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, the asset class, if you do it right, you'll pay no taxes for years.
Right.
And with the squeeze on for people, it's there, right?
Right.
And eventually you sell the home to the tenants in year 5 or 6 after you depreciate it. Oh, now you're getting lot rent and a mortgage, all passive. Love it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's going to be the big paydays when you have all those.
It's coming, especially, I mean, we're going to talk more about it. So as we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, tell me, one, what do you see happening in the market over the next couple months?
Well, I don't think it's going to get any better, that's for sure. You know, like I mean, I saw the writing on the wall with where Florida's market was going, especially with like condos and stuff like that. You know, with the legislation, with the passing for after the Miami building
Oh,
collapsed.
yeah.
I knew it was going to get bad. And obviously I lived in Miami for a long time.
too.
And
I don't remember a lot though.
I remember everything. But I remember having arguments with my friends that were buying condos to live in. I'm like, do not do that. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. And sure enough, here it is. But yeah, I don't see Florida getting better anytime soon. I think we'll see a small little correction, maybe a 10-20%.
I'm seeing that in what we do anyway,
Yeah.
What the numbers are. But,
Right.
you know, the demographic we work in is different anyway. So
Right.
that under 300, it's a different market. It's,
Yeah,
it's a little growing actually.
Right.
Because people are there. It's a need, not a want.
Right, but anything over $500,000, I mean, you're
Well, yeah, but when you're at half a
Tough.
million at 6-point-something%, you know, the numbers are crazy,
Yeah.
right? And I look at what my house worth and if what my interest rate is, it's like half. And it's like,
right.
yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
We were going to, my wife wanted to build a new house, and I was like, where? When? Now? No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the
Maybe
numbers.
buy the land now because you probably get land, some cheap land.
Hey, I don't
you
know,
know.
but where she wants, she's kind of get some bougie taste. Like, she wants to live on a lake now. Like, you don't swim. I wouldn't want you to drown, so no, I told her, you know.
Gotta be safe.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't think the market's going to pick up anything in the next few months, okay? And but if let's say the whole trade thing and tariff thing goes the best it can, will that change, in your opinion, anything?
No, because I still think we have an affordability problem. You know, like I think like just like most people can't afford a normal house in Florida. You know, like think about what the average person makes in Florida compared to
Oh, yeah.
what the average house is. Like it's just
New
doesn't make
construction,
sense.
400,000 plus, right?
Right.
And so, you know, that's going to have, but interest rates need to come down for even to touch that.
Right.
And they're not like, you know, you go down to the level here and you're at the county and state level that, look, we're in Orange County. They did the Vision 50 plan and they said you can get all this land in Bithlo and out here and do, you know, take agricultural and make it zoned for manufacturing and split it up.
Right.
It's in the Vision 50, but the mechanics of how to do it is not there. So it's talk with no substance.
Right.
And look, we pay 10%, as you know, like the fees here, right?
Yeah.
If we do a lot, you and I in Orange County, the impact fee alone starts at $25K.
Which is insane.
Then there's the permit fee, the septic permit fee, the septic fee. Fees are 12% of a deal cost on a new construction for me in Orange County. That's why we buy old units and knock them down.
Right.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, it's insane.
Right. But they say they want to build affordable housing. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the affordability, that's why I'll give you, and we end with something really cool that we had happen. The first house we ever sold to a lady back in 23 as a dealer, she did everything right. Right? She had zero money out of pocket. She sold it. She walked away with a $48,000 check that she bought a new house with. Right?
Wow, yeah.
And she bought a $220,000 house that she sold. I don't know what it was sold for, but she walked away with $48K. But she did what she was supposed to do. Took care of it, first-time home buyer, and made money on a manufactured house in 2 years out in Pasco, right? Because we were developing a lot of land outside of Tampa. That's one of our models, right?
Right.
Well, what's rent here? Well, they can't afford to rent in Tampa anymore. $3,000.
Yeah.
She went into like a $1,300 mortgage,
Yeah.
you know, and then crushed it and sold it. The only problem is she didn't buy another house from me. But, you know, it was a regular house, right?
Yeah.
But I'm proud of her, and I'm happy that we could help with that.
Yeah.
I'll have a video coming out soon. It's going to be really cool. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That's great.
Okay. So wrapping up, I want to thank you.
Of course.
You know,
Thanks
have
for
you
having
back
me.
again. And, you know, appreciate your time today.
Of course. Yeah. Have a great one.
Take care, guys. Thanks, Ray.